Sac City. Welcome into another edition of Pigskin and Pancakes presented by the Sac City Podcast. I am your host, the one and only Vinny Milani, joined as always by my best friend in the whole entire world. He is Aaron, the Mukesiah Mukes. And below us, we have ya boy, my boy, and everybody's boy. He is AJ Johnson. It is a beautiful November 20th morning here in the city. We've got fantasy talk coming your way, helping you guys win your fantasy weeks. I know we're going a little bit early. It will be a little bit of a different structure today, or a little bit of a different show today for you guys. In terms of our injury reports, we'll keep you updated on our Twitter page. So be sure you're following us on our Sac City Pod Twitter page for injury updates for who's in and who is out. But we're here to give you the fantasy advice you need to win your week. So if you're in the chat, drop us a line. Let us know what your questions are, who your start sits are, what your start sit questions are looking like. We will answer them as soon as we see them pop up in our comments section, helping you win your fantasy leagues. Gentlemen.
Yes,
How goes it this morning?
It's good. It's early for us. Apologies to the fantasy football community, but we all got a lot of things going on. And AJ's traveling, I'm traveling, and I don't even know what's behind me, but I got a mirror behind me. I'm in some hotel room. I'm going to the Falcons game today as a fan. I'm not a fan of the Falcons, but just as a fan, which is a little different for me. So
as a Justin Fields fan.
Yeah, that's right, as a Justin Fields fan. So we had to get on here a little early to give you guys the fantasy show that you deserve, despite it being a little bit early. It doesn't matter. I can beat anybody, whether it's early, late, doesn't matter. Listen to us and you'll win.
Yeah, something like that. Something along those lines.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's do this damn thing. Let's get into our show. We've got a little bit of a different injury report today that we're going to get into. We're going to, of course, touch on our starts and our sits of the week, and of course, we have our DFS plays of the day. So, or our DFS draft, I should say, to cap off our show. So, without further ado, let's talk injuries. That's right. It is time for a new injury report, a new injury. It's more. This is more like an injury discussion, gentlemen. Today, I want to talk to you guys and ask you a few questions about some of the guys that are injured. Maybe more so in the late slate games and tomorrow. There's a few players that have injury designations that are questionable right now. That a lot of fantasy players are wondering what to do, including like guys like Kyler Murray. We've got Mike Williams and Keenan Allen in the late slate or in primetime football tonight. Players that are playing in those later games. I want to know from you guys, maybe specifically if you guys want to touch on them. Let's start off with Kyler Murray on Monday Night Football. If you're a Kyler Murray owner, what should you be doing to prep for this? Maybe your waiver wire is thin. Maybe like some of the better options on the waiver wire are not there. What are you doing for a player like Kyler Murray, AJ?
I mean, like, you kind of set me up for failure. I mean, like, there's no one on the waiver wire and you're waiting till Monday night. Like, it sounds like you're hoping for the best unless you have a backup that's on your roster already. I mean, yeah, like, it's not like you're going to – I guess there's some leagues where trades go through immediately. Maybe you can make yourself a little backup trade real quick or something. But if there's no one on the waiver wire, you're holding pat. From what it seems like, though, it doesn't seem like he's going to play. So at this point in time, you should have already had your contingency plan in place. There are some guys – if you're playing in like a double quarterback league, then you should be okay. Find someone else to put in that super flex spot. If you're playing in one quarterback league, I'd imagine there are some guys that are still on the waiver wire that you can go and grab. Guys like Daniel Jones, who has a good matchup. We talked about Jimmy G last week. I think that's going to continue again this week. At the bottom of the barrel, and I mean this respectfully, and in terms of the fantasy, Taylor Heineke might be a guy to go out and maybe if you have no other option, throw him in there and start and hope you're getting your points from everywhere else. But, with it having been a Monday night game, with him being injured last week, there should have been a contingency plan in place at this point. And I would imagine most fantasy owners of Kyler Murray did something of that nature.
Yeah, and it is trending towards him not playing, but it's still definitely up in the air. The Arizona Cardinals play on Monday Night Football tomorrow against the Niners in Mexico City. There's a few players today, though, that have that injury designation of questionable, or even some players that have been announced as looking good to go for their games, including guys like Mark Andrews, Keenan Allen, Mike Williams. Those three guys in particular are the ones that pop off in my mind. Obviously, so you guys know I own most of those players.
All of them.
But for the guys that are trending towards playing, but still have that injury designation of questionable, Aaron, that have missed some practice time this week, what's the confidence level when you're starting these guys that are notable for being good fantasy producers, but obviously not practicing all week and missing time, missing games the past week? What's your confidence level in guys like Mark Andrews, Keenan Allen, Mike Williams, and if there's other names that you can think of? You're well aware of me. I own some of those players, so that's why they pop off on my head. But if there's others, let me know. What's your confidence level in those guys today?
Yeah, I think it depends on the player. I think if you got guys like Mark Andrews, who's a veteran in this league and has already built a rapport with Lamar Jackson, if he's good to go and they're saying that he's healthy enough to play, then you're pretty confident that he's going to be good. The one thing you worry about is if a guy's coming back too early, right? Is Mark Andrews going to do what he did a couple of weeks ago, come in, play a few snaps, and then have to leave and not be able to finish the game? So I think that's where you're really wondering or trying to figure out where your confidence is. But for guys like Keenan Allen, he's been out weeks, 7, 8 weeks, 9 weeks, something like that. I think you would have to assume that they've waited until he's healthy enough to get back to the field. But I'm always a guy that believes you have to ride with your horses, and I think those guys have been proving it over long periods of time. So it's important that they're in your lineup. If you have other guys that have been holding it down, maybe you can afford to wait a week. But people that are fighting for the playoffs don't always have that luxury. So if those are your guys, then you have to be confident in them if they're able to play. So I think the one I would be worried about is Mike Williams, because he's already an inconsistent player when it comes to just the receiver position in general. He has those big boomer bust games. He's coming back a little bit earlier than I thought he would. And I know he's been working out, but I would probably err on the side of caution with him because he's a wide receiver too anyways. Maybe you have another option to go there. But I think that if anybody else that's been out that they're saying is playing, I feel like if you need them to win, then you got to put in your lineup and you got to feel confident in that. And like I said, unless you just have a stacked team where you have the luxury of playing somebody else that you know can give you the production that you need.
Okay.
All
right.
Interestingly enough, I'm still worried about Keenan Allen, and I get it. We've waited so long for him to come back, but like he was very adamant. I know they say don't trust the player and whatnot, but he was very adamant that he didn't want to come back until he was 100% healthy. He said he wouldn't come back till he could bounce, and now he's talking about coming back, but I haven't heard him say he feels healthy. I've heard him say he 100% wants to be out there and hopes to be out there, but it's on the training staff. And you mentioned Mike Williams coming back so soon. It kind of feels like these guys are trying to come back because they're playing the Chiefs. Like because it's a high-profile game, they feel like they need to be in this game. And while I believe Keenan Allen's healthier than he has been in past weeks, I don't know that he's where he wanted to be before getting back on the field. Now I'm with you. If you are a must-win situation and you don't have any better options, obviously, hope for the best. But I am a little worried, and if he plays, I'm just tempering expectations. Just as a aside there for my feelings.
Well, I kind of feel like that could go both ways though. Like that narrative could go both ways because like if they're trying to play and get up for this big game against the Chiefs, then maybe like that's a good sign that should give you the confidence. Like, okay, like these guys are wanting to go. These guys are ready. Like they're going to push it and to say, okay, like this is a big game. We need to be on the field for this. So their role in their offense is going to be huge. Maybe that like could be the
I think that division. They lose this game, the Chiefs win the division. Like,
well, that's what I'm saying. So guys like Mike Williams and Keenan Allen are going to be big parts here today. I feel like if that is the case, if they're saying, okay, we gotta play this week because it is for the division. But that's basically what I wanted to get into. Is there any other injury designations that stand out to you guys that you want to mention before we move on?
I do think it's important we talk about some of the impact for injury designations. The Cooper Cup news now being out 6 to 8 weeks. I told you guys he's not playing this year.
Right.
He's done. The Cooper Cup season is over. If you have Cooper Cup, you can drop him. I truly believe this. If you have Cooper Cup, you can drop him. If somebody wants to trade him, take him. Sure, why not? Take whatever you can get for him. That means I think you have to go out and get Allen Robinson. Allen Robinson has to be in lineups. Again, temper expectations. He's not going to fill the wide receiver one role, but he should be the guy there that leads the team in targets. Him and Tyler Higbee, I think, will probably lead that team in targets. And Van Jefferson then becomes a more viable option. Ben Skoranek now becomes a more viable option. This might excite you guys down the stretch of the season. Do not be surprised if a guy like Lance McCutcheon gets a chance to play and gets an opportunity to make a name for himself. And if he did what he did in preseason, then that could be somebody down the stretch that might come out of nowhere to have some fantasy relevance. Again, I don't know that to be the case, but there is a chance like a guy like that could come in late in the season when they're completely out of it and they're resting other guys. So just keep your eye on that. But I do think Allen Robinson is a play that you could probably feel confident now each and every week and at least being in your lineup. So I think stuff like that's important. I wanted to go back to the Kyler Murray thing too, as well as the injury. If you had Kyler Murray, that means you had to have a contingency plan last week as well. So whatever that contingency plan last week was, you should have that contingency plan now. If you did not get Colt McCoy and was able to get him to, alternate him for Kyler Murray, then you should have had somebody else. And if that somebody else is available to play today or not on a bye week, then you probably should be starting them. Number one, it's not a great matchup for Kyler Murray either with the 49ers. So even if you happen to say, you know what, I'm not going to take the chance, you're probably going to get a better matchup somewhere else.
Well, that's why I own Kyler Murray in one of my ESPN leagues. And I picked up Daniel Jones and I'm starting him no matter what. I don't care if Kyler Murray plays or not. He's battling a hamstring injury. Kyler Murray, one of his biggest strengths is being mobile. If he's battling that hamstring injury, it could affect him during the game against San Francisco 49ers defense that we all know, we talk about and praise all the time about being one of the best in the NFL. I don't like the matchup. I don't like the injury. I don't like the injury designation. I don't want to wait on him. There's just all those factors that go in, and I'm starting Daniel Jones over Kyler Murray and not thinking twice about it. Watch out for Hollywood Brown. Sneaky player right there. If he's on your waiver wire still, go out and check and make sure that he's not on your waiver wire because he is getting ready to come back. Not sure if it's this week, but how coaches talk. They're always teasing players coming back, and Hollywood Brown is on the verge of returning. Juju Smith-Schuster probably won't play. That's another player that people are probably waiting on. I know we're talking about Kadarius Toney in a little bit. But Juju Smith-Schuster is another one of those guys that I want to mention that's got that injury designation that we're not so sure about, but leaning more towards the out. So plan on starting someone else there. That does it though for our injury report. Gentlemen, let's shift gears to our starts and our sits. And AJ, we'll start with you here with the quarterback position. Who is your quarterback start of the week?
All right. Well, I decided I'm going to go bold. I didn't think I was going to go this route, but I've stated this a couple times this week, so I might as well do it here on the show. My start for this week is Denver Broncos quarterback Russell Wilson. Let's ride. I think this is the one time you're going to have someone be able to go bold for Russell Wilson. He's got himself a great matchup against the Raiders. If you look back to early in the season, this is the only game with more than 19 fantasy points was against the Las Vegas Raiders. He scored 30 points that week. Raiders are number 3 in fantasy points allowed to the quarterbacks. The only one that haven't got to a 20-point game is Trevor Lawrence. Maybe you can see him do something like that again against the Vegas Raiders this upcoming Sunday, a.k.a. in like 5 or 6 hours. You got Jerry Jeudy's missing, but I expect him to pepper Cortland Sutton with targets. I expect Greg Dulcich to be a much bigger part of this offense. I think they are set up very well to have themselves a good day. Roll out Russell Wilson. They said he should look good during the stretch. If you can't start him today, well, they were all wrong, and you'll never start him again this season. So I think today's the day you get a good day out of Russ.
The let's ride stuff. Yeah, that's nice. For me, it's the guy that Vinny just mentioned. It's Daniel Jones. I really like Daniel Jones here against the Detroit Lions. I think it's the perfect time to start a quarterback that you're probably never starting any other time just because you have better options. But he's coming off of a good week last week against another bad defense against Houston. He had almost 20 points last week. Was quarterback 14, which is borderline quarterback 1. So there's still a lot of guys on bye weeks. If you had Geno Smith or you had Tom Brady, or those guys are all on byes this week. So you're probably looking for a streamer or somebody like that to start. And I think you can look at Daniel Jones directly. The Detroit Lions are just bad defensively. I know they had some success against the Green Bay Packers, but overall, they have not been very efficient against quarterbacks. As a matter of fact, they're the worst in quarterback points allowed to quarterback position, almost 24 fantasy points a game to the quarterback position. Only team that's close to them is really the Las Vegas Raiders, who AJ just lamented as Let's Ride's going against. So I think Daniel Jones is a nice start here. I think you could either use him as a streaming play. I think you could use him as somebody that you're trying to plug in for your bye week players, or if you're looking for that quarterback too, if he was on your roster and maybe you have a couple of options, I think he's the choice you make there. If you have Kyler Murray and you're questioning whether you're going to play him or not, I think Daniel Jones is the play. Go get Daniel Jones and look for him to score anywhere between 18 to 20 points today. He should get his legs involved because they can't stop the run either. So Daniel Jones is my start quarterback of the week.
What about the fact that the Lions have a terrible defense all around, and Saquon Barkley being such a big part of that offense, that it'd be more of a Saquon day? Like, you still think even if Saquon has a day, Daniel Jones can be still fantasy relevant?
Well, did Saquon have a day last week?
Yeah.
No. If Saquon had a day last week against Houston, it's going to be the same thing. They both can have days. That's the joy of playing a bad defense. So, yeah, I still love Saquon Barkley, but I think this is a good spot for Daniel Jones. Remember, when you're playing a bad defense, and the Detroit Lions will put pressure on you offensively. We talked about this. I still think this is a pretty decent offense in Detroit. So I think the Giants will have to continue to score. And I think the beneficiaries of that is Daniel Jones and Saquon Barkley. There's nobody else really that stands out. So I'm confident just because the Lions can't stop the run that Daniel Jones will still have to be a part of that and score some fantasy points.
Let's answer Game of Champs question here. Start 2, Isaiah Pacheco, Najee Harris, Ezekiel Elliott, and DeAndre Swift. Full PPR league. This is what we're doing here, gentlemen. If you guys have anybody in the chat, drop your lineup decisions here. We're here to help you. Game of Champs: Isaiah Pacheco, Najee Harris, Ezekiel Elliott, DeAndre Swift. Aaron, where are you going?
Yeah, it's tough because off top, I'm thinking beginning of the season, we're talking DeAndre Swift and Najee Harris, and I don't think it's really close. But I think you have to fade DeAndre Swift right now until we can see that he's going to get the opportunities. Plus, he's going against a tough Giants defense. He's very efficient with his touches, one of the leaders in points per touch, but he just hasn't been getting enough touches lately. And Zeke's just coming back from that knee injury. I think Najee is the must start here. As crazy as that sounds, because I've been fading him all year, I think Najee is the must start. And then I think you're making a decision between Zeke and Isaiah Pacheco. And I know it's hard to start Isaiah Pacheco, but I kind of like him tonight. I really do. I kind of like him tonight against the Chargers. If I was leaning one way right now, I would probably go Isaiah Pacheco and Najee Harris, which is totally against everything I believe. You guys know how I feel, but I really like the matchup that he has with the Chargers, one of the worst rush defenses in football. I think the Chiefs are going to score a lot of points. I think he gets into the end zone at least once tonight, and I think that bodes well. He had 16 carries last week for 82 yards, didn't get anything involved in the passing game, but I think his amount of touches and his volume will be enough. Clyde Edwards-Helaire is completely gone in that backfield. It's McKinnon and it's Isaiah Pacheco. McKinnon's a little bit banged up. Expect McKinnon on third downs, but I think Isaiah Pacheco gets the bulk of the carries. I think he falls into the end zone. I think he's the safer floor. Both of those guys are the safer floor to me. I think Pacheco and Harris are my two.
Yeah, I want to bring up too, the last time the Chiefs played the Chargers, it was a Clyde day. Clyde had a very good day on the ground and through the air. 74 rushing yards on 8 carries, 44 receiving yards on 4 receptions. Did not find the end zone, but in a full PPR league, that gives you some good points there. That gives you at least 15 points there. So I think that's what you can expect possibly from an Isaiah Pacheco today. So. And we obviously know how bad the Chargers are against the running back position. So, AJ, you like that Pacheco and Najee?
I had the Pacheco in there. I was gonna go to Zeke. I think with the time off, I think he will be back to himself, and I think they'll use him the same type of way. I'm not mad at the Najee Harris one. And you mentioned Clyde Edwards. If Clyde Edwards ends up being a part of the equation today, nobody, including the Kansas City Chiefs, saw that coming. So I do think Pacheco's going to get to work. He's been bolstering up a couple weeks in and out, and then you're throwing Najee in there. To me, that's just.
I think Zeke is just two touchdown dependent for me. And he's coming off injury, and Minnesota's defense is a top 6 scoring defense against the running back position. I think all of the factors that got me, because you know how I feel about Zeke. I do think he's going to touch the ball 15 times, and if he gets in the end zone, he'll have a productive day. But if he doesn't get in the end zone, he has no value.
Well, weren't they thinking about? I mean, they were thinking about him being able to play before the bye and just opted to proceed with caution, though. So you get that extra week. I think he's a little bit more healthy, and I get the fact he needs to fall into the end zone, but he's a double-digit guy. So, I mean, if you're sitting here starting 2 out of 4, I'm imagining one of these guys is probably coming into the flex range anyway. So,
yeah, like I said, I would say it's a toss-up between Pacheco and Zeke. I lean the guy that's been healthy, that I know is going to get a workload. Yeah. If you really need to win, I think that's what we're talking about here. I think the floor is a little bit safer on Pacheco this week than Zeke.
Justin Fields or Lamar Jackson this week. Lamar Jackson has Carolina. Aaron, you're about to go see Justin Fields against Atlanta here. Which one are you guys? Where are you guys leaning here?
It's a good problem to have. Huh?
I know for a fact this is in Bailey's Dynasty League, so he has both Justin Fields and Lamar Jackson. I know for a fact he's been trying to trade Lamar Jackson, which is a good idea at this point.
Flip a coin. I'm riding the hot hand. I'm riding with Justin Fields in this one against Atlanta. I think the Carolina Panthers defense is a little bit better than the Atlanta Falcons defense. The Falcons are missing pieces on the back end. I think Justin Fields is obviously going to get involved in the run game. Lamar is coming off of a bye week, but he's still without some weapons. Gus Edwards should be back, but they don't know how much he's going to play. Maybe Mark Andrews, maybe. Still don't have Rashad Bateman, so I'm going with Justin Fields. I think he's set up for a little bit more success today against the Falcons.
Yeah, I'm with him. I'm not going to talk too much about my Falcons. I'm with him. I think you're happy either way, but yeah, he's been too good as of late. You're not mad if you put Justin Fields in and he doesn't rip off another 60-yard touchdown. Let's remember, that's not happening every single week, but he's going to get enough run he's going to get enough run.
Is it not?
I do keep hearing it. I think I said it to make myself believe it because everyone else keeps saying. I was like, but why not? I mean, have we seen? I mean, we talk about
the last 5 weeks.
He's QB1,
so he's QB1 the last 5 weeks. He scored back-to-back 40-point games. The last 4 games, he's been over 24 fantasy points. He is legit, and I think that we have to start realizing that they found the way to use him, and it's working.
Yeah. Pick 3: Darius Slayton, Kadarius Toney, Keenan Allen, Josh Palmer, Brandon Ayuk. Standard league. This is one of our rare questions.
First of all, Ryan
about
H.
standard leagues.
Ryan H. We need to get you in a PPR league. Who still plays in standard leagues? We got to figure that out, guys.
I have one.
Pick 3.
Yeah. Pick 3. I think Keenan Allen is in.
No.
Oh, not
I actually like Slayton, Toney, and Ayuk.
Yep.
If you're playing in standard league, I think the highest touchdown percentage opportunities are going to be for Slayton, Toney, and Ayuk. I think they will find a way to use Kadarius Toney with no Juju, no Mecole Hardman in the red zone, especially. Within the red zone, those kind of jet sweeps, those quick outs like they did last week when he got in. Brandon Ayuk's always a goal line threat, a red zone threat for the 49ers. And then I really like Darius Slayton as being kind of their big play guy down the field. Keenan Allen is not a huge touchdown guy. He's a middle of the field PPR kind of guy, doesn't score a lot of touchdowns, and he's coming back. And we lamented the question marks we have there. And then Josh Palmer it's going to be hard if Mike Williams and Keenan Allen both play. Because DeAndre Carter plays a lot in the slot. That would be a toss-up for me.
Well, I think if both of you guys are leaning towards that route of Slayton, Toney, and Ayuk, it's more of those 3 guys are all of your big play potential type of guys too. Darius Slayton can break one over the top. He can have one big play and find the end zone. Same with Tony, and then Ayuk's been playing well in San Francisco. So I think that's where we're looking at as well. So AJ, you're on board with Slayton.
Yeah,
Tony,
those are the exact names that I pulled out. If it was PPR, Keenan Allen would be in there instead, but clearly it's not.
Okay. All right. Titan CW pick 3.
Back-to-back standard leagues.
Another standard league question, but hey, we're here to give the advice. We're here to help you guys win your league. So keep dropping those questions. We will answer them as they come along, and be sure to hit that subscribe button as well. We're here every week, every Sunday. Normally it's at noon. At noon we're live, but we are here earlier this morning, giving you your fantasy advice live Sunday mornings, though, to help you win your leagues. Titan CW, pick 3, standard league, Tyler Boyd, Devontae Smith, Jacoby Myers, J-Rob, Keenan Allen, Hollywood Brown, or George Pickens. So you have to pick 3 from that group. AJ, I'll let you start this one off.
Yeah, well, one of them for me is definitely going to be Jacoby Myers, which is not something I would have said with that type of confidence last season, but he has been a good part of that New England offense. Mac Jones was looking for him, Bailey Zappi is looking for him, and Devontae Parker's banged up, so he's going to be their passing game this afternoon. Now, granted, he's up against a pretty decent defense, but still. Tyler Boyd is another guy that I like. I do think that the Bengals are going to come out firing. They're trying to exact the revenge from week 1 when they lost to the Steelers. The Steelers secondary has been giving up lots of fantasy points to the wide receiver core. Now, again, Minka Fitzpatrick is probably back. Jamonte Casey is back. TJ Watt is back. So that defense looks a little different. But without Jamar Chase and what we've seen that offense be able to do, I do like Tyler Boyd. I don't trust James Robinson. I don't trust Devontae Smith fully. And for me, that leaves Keenan Allen at that point in time. We mentioned he may not get in the end zone much, but if he is as healthy as they're expecting him to be, he is going to get the targets. He is going to make receptions and get some yards for you. So those would be the 3 and the route that I would go.
Aaron?
Well, I don't know if I want to contradict everything AJ just said, but I'm going to. So Titan CW, you're going to have to make a decision here because we obviously don't see eye to eye, AJ and I here. Everybody except for Tyler Boyd. I like Tyler Boyd in this one, but my 3 are Tyler Boyd, Devontae Smith, and James Robinson.
Shotgun for Jones.
Listen.
The throw is on time for Jacoby.
What? You were talking through that audio. Continue. Sorry. Proceed. That was so weird. Go ahead.
I don't know what happened, but listen, like I said, my 3 were Tyler Boyd, Devonta Smith, and James Robinson. Devonta Smith, I think, is a great play today. You have Stephon Gilmore, who's been one of the best corners in football, and I think he follows A.J. Brown around. I think that's a physical matchup. I think Devonta Smith reaps the benefits of that. I think he has a huge day today. I love him getting in the end zone. I actually like James Robinson getting in the end zone around the goal line with the Jets and the New England Patriots. You talked about Jacoby Myers. There's no way I'm starting Jacoby Myers against Sauce Gardner and DJ Reed and those boys with that Jets secondary. I just can't trust it. And Tyler Boyd, I think, is just a good play with still no Jamar Chase. The only other guy I would consider here is George Pickens. I think the injuries of Keenan Allen and Marquise Brown will have me fade them for now. But give me Tyler Boyd, Devonta Smith, and James Robinson for those 3.
Tyler Boyd, Devontae Smith, J-Rob. AJ, you went.
I went Tyler Boyd, Jacoby Myers, and I went Keenan Allen. I don't know who to trust in the backfield of the Jets. That's my fear. I don't know if it's going to be Michael Carter. Is James Robinson in enough on that offense to get the work that we're looking for, or are we just hoping he falls in the end zone once and gets you 7 or 8 points? Like that's my fear when it comes to James Robinson. I understand the Jacoby Myers pick. It's just, I mean, you're looking at a guy who's playing at least 80% of each snaps, coming off of 13 targets just a mere 2 weeks ago. I just think he's going to be that offense. So it was more of a volume play when it comes to Jacoby Myers than it is he's going to go in there and dominate the defense.
Well, James Robinson James Robinson had 15 touches last week. Like the last time we
I think
the Jets, he had 15
I think
touches.
on that one to be the deciding factor here, I lean more towards the Tyler Boyd, Devontae Smith, and I would swap out and I would have Jacoby Myers over James Robinson. I think Jacoby Myers is going to be the guy in that offense today. In a game where the New England Patriots are also going to be battling. I do worry about the cornerback matchup. The Jets are very good against the wide receiver position, so that would be my only worry.
We're talking about standard league, Vinny. Jacoby Myers
Oh,
got
it
like
is
3
standard
touchdowns in his
league.
career. Like, I'm not
Okay.
trusting a guy that has 3 career touchdowns for whatever he's got.
Oh,
Like, I'm
man.
sorry.
Yeah.
Like, he could have 70 yards, and James Robinson can fall into the end zone one time, and
then
James
be better.
Robinson's going to outscore him. So that, again, it's tough when you talk about touchdowns because touchdowns are unpredictable. It's why I don't like standard leagues. But I'm going with the guy that I know has a better chance of falling in the end zone.
So in those standard, I haven't played a standard league in quite some time. I got to be completely honest, but wait, what? That's not a thing, is it? Is that real? That's not right. That's not accurate. I'm not sure why. Who's reporting this? Sorry, just got lost in a comment here. Okay, next question. Debating on my flex. What do you guys think? Slayton, Paris Campbell, Nico Collins, and DJ Moore. If you have to choose one, where do you guys lean?
Are we in another standard league here?
I'm gonna assume this is a PPR league.
Yeah.
I like all these guys, to be honest, today. I really do. Love Slayton today, and if Baker Mayfield wasn't playing, I'd love DJ Moore today.
Yeah.
I'm scared of DJ Moore though with Baker Mayfield. Give me honestly, I'm gonna go Slayton here. It's tough, but I'm gonna go Darius Slayton. It's between him and Nico Collins for me, and I think Slayton with his big play potential, I would lean towards Darius Slayton.
Half point PPR.
Okay.
Yeah, same. It would be the same answer for me.
Yeah, I'm also a fan of Paris Campbell today. I think they have a good little setup, except that they're playing Philly. But what Paris Campbell has been able to do with Matt Ryan under center, for whatever reason it is, he's had his best games there. Matt Ryan looks for him. Last week he had 7 targets, got in the end zone, 76 yards. I think it was week 6 maybe, or was it week 7 when the last time we saw Matt Ryan and double-digit targets both week for Paris Campbell. So I also think he has a very good opportunity to shine today. But again, I'm picking all the receivers that are going up against great secondary. So
yeah, that's what I think separates it here. Just going with the more trusting matchup here when I think it's this close and you're looking at guys like, because to me it is also between like Slayton and Paris Campbell, because Paris Campbell is heating up with Matt Ryan. That is a fact. But I do like Darius Slayton's matchup a little bit better against the Detroit Lions defense that has been very, very bad
recently.
They have been playing a little bit better, like on the field in real life football. They've been playing better, but when it comes to fantasy, you look at the production.
Even the Green Bay game, they gave up 400 yards of total offense, and Green Bay moved the ball up and down the field. They were just able to create turnovers in the red zone. So Detroit's defense is bad.
Yeah,
I know.
And with that, I will say Darius Slayton. We have a definitive answer here for this. Where is this? Why are people saying Josh Jacobs is out today? What is happening?
Stop listening to the trolls.
Why
are you even acknowledging it? Why are you?
I can't help it. I have Josh Jacobs. Someone tell me the truth. All right, let's keep rolling on these questions.
This is what happens when you
Devin Singletary, Cortland Sutton, Rondale Moore, DeAndre Swift, or Brian Robinson. You have to pick 3 in a full PPR league, Aaron.
Yeah, for me, it's for me, number 1 is Brian Robinson. I think he's an auto play today. I love him against the Houston Texans. My secondary, I like Rondale Moore in PPR this week, regardless of who it is, whether it's Colt McCoy or Kyler Murray. I think Rondale Moore has been effective lately. They like to get him involved in space. They like to throw those little bubble screens to him. Obviously, in a PPR league, when you can get those targets, it's important. And then my next, I just can't trust DeAndre Swift, guys. I'm going to go Cortland Sutton here. I would normally take DeAndre Swift. I just can't trust him right now until I can see the touches increase. I need to see it on the field first. I go Cortland Sutton with no Jerry Jeudy out, a bad Raiders secondary. I think Russell Wilson goes to Sutton as his number 1 receiver. Give me Cortland Sutton.
AJ?
Yeah, I love the B-Rob. He's definitely a throw in and be very excited about it. I think he's going to have himself a day. I was definitely also going with no Jerry Jeudy. I think it's going to be between him and Greg Dulcich getting the targets today. I do like Rondale. He's played very well over the last couple weeks. I have this nagging whisper in my ear that Devin Singletary is going to have a good day. Like the Cleveland.
That was last week. I told you.
Yeah. Well, I mean, hey, he's sandwiched in some double digit weeks within a crappy 2 single week, but now they're in Detroit and they get to enjoy some actual weather. I think Devin Singletary has himself a good chance at getting at the Cleveland Browns, whose run defense hasn't been great this season either. But I mean, I'm fine with the Rondale Moore thought process as well.
Okay. All right. Well, that will keep those start sit comments coming. We will get to them as soon as we see them. Let's hop back into our start.
Don't forget to subscribe.
Yep. Be sure to hit that subscribe button. We are live throughout the week talking normal football, recapping things throughout the week, live at 10 a.m. Eastern time. And we also do more fantasy content on Tuesday. We're also live every Sunday. So be sure to hit that subscribe button for your fantasy advice and your football content. Let's get back into the start sits here, gentlemen. Your sit quarterback of the week, AJ, is...
All right. So I'm not going to go that far. We're going to stay in the same game as my start quarterback, and I'm sitting Derek Carr. Derek Carr has had a good past couple weeks, but he's been inconsistent all season long. And then you're talking about a Denver defense who, when Carr played him in week 4, had 11 fantasy points. Funny enough, he scored 11 fantasy points in 3 of his last 5 games in Denver when going way back to 2020. Denver this year has been ridiculous. They've averaged 10.2 fantasy points to the quarterback position. That's gone to 7.5 over the last month. Patrick Surtain has been ridiculous. I think he's allowed something like 6 receptions or like 6 receptions for like 20 yards in the last month. It's been crazy. I don't know that just having a Devontae Adams and an inconsistent Derek Carr is going to be enough against a solid defense. If you have Derek Carr, find another option if you can.
It's funny. My sit quarterback's the exact same. You're not starting Derek Carr today. Normally he's a fringe QB1, borderline high-end quarterback 2. Normally we're talking somewhere in the 12 to 15 range. I think you have to go elsewhere. If you have another matchup that, like we talked about, Daniel Jones earlier, might be out there available, I would start Daniel Jones over him. I just don't love the play today. They've struggled as of late, and as much as I like Devontae Adams, I think Derek Carr is going to struggle significantly in this one. That Denver Broncos defense is for real. And
Yeah.
Patrick Surtain's arguably a top 2-3 corner in this league right now. And we know Derek Carr is not the most consistent guy. He doesn't throw a lot of touchdowns already. And we've seen he's had a couple of back-to-back games against Jacksonville and even against Indy, where it was kind of for most of the game. He ended up being quarterback 15 last week. I think he's going to fall outside that top 15 quarterbacks. He's done that 5 times this year, 15 or lower. He's only been in the top 10 one time, I think, this year, maybe twice. I don't think you can trust him today against the Denver Broncos. I think you have to look elsewhere.
Derek Carr or Taylor. AJ, you mentioned Taylor Heineke's name earlier. I'll bring him back up. Derek Carr against the Broncos or Taylor Heineke against the Houston Texans?
I mean, I like Taylor Heineke. Derek Stingley's out today, and with him and Jalen Petrie, that's been a reason their secondary has even been mentionable. I think Taylor Heineke with Terry McLaurin. I think Antonio Gibson gets some targets out of the backfield from Heineke. I get it. Derek Carr has the Renfro and Adams, but I think it's worth the spin to see if
You picked the 2 worst quarterbacks. I am fading Taylor Heineke today as well. I think Houston's defense is much better against the quarterback position than led on because of the fact they're such a bad football team. But I think they're really good against the quarterback. They just can't stop the run.
Marcus Mariota.
I would take Mariota today over both of those guys.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's get back into it. Be sure to hit that subscribe button and let us know. Drop your comments. If you have more fantasy questions, we are here to help you win your leagues. But be sure to hit that subscribe. Let's pivot to the running back position, gentlemen. Our starts at the running back position. AJ, who you got?
Sorry, you got me all messed up now because I'm sitting here like, is this Josh Jacobs thing for real? Because I just
it's not. It's not. It really isn't. I've been heavily looking at this because I am a Josh Jacobs owner. It's not a thing.
Okay. All right. So anyways,
for those reading, for George in the comments, if you're reading the Josh Jacobs news, unless it's not popping up on Twitter, Josh Jacobs is in today. He's playing.
Yeah. Drop your article.
Yeah.
All right.
When you deal with fantasy football people in the chat, there's always trolls trolling.
Yeah.
If Josh Jacobs ends up being out, we will let you know.
I didn't know that's where it came from, but then I looked up and I saw a dude said Adam Scheffner, and I was like, well, he's not a valid or
that is not
journalist.
That's an Elon Musk special.
Yeah. I promise you, if anybody's
right,
following the important people on Twitter that we need to know, we're doing it. We do this for a living, guys. Calm down.
Yeah. All right.
Except for when Vinny reported Jimmy G to the Giants. But,
Fake news. Didn't happen. I don't know what you're talking about.
We've been talking about this team. We've been talking about this guy. We think it's going to be a good run. My starting running back of the week, I went with Brian Robinson last week, 86 yards and a touchdown. Did that with 52% of snaps and 26 carries. The Texans cannot stop a running back, can't stop a nosebleed. They part the seas like Moses. They've given up the most points to the running back this season at 32.4 points a game. In the past month, that number has gone up to 38.1 points. So I think this backfield of the Washington Commanders can have themselves a day. Brian Robinson, great start. If you have Antonio Gibson, I think he's a guy you can throw in your lineup as well and be very happy about it. But I went with B-Rob. Make you happy about your Alabama boy there, Vinny.
I don't own him anymore. I don't have any B-Rob stock.
Oh,
so,
you jumped off that boat?
No, I mean he could. Well, yeah, he's a touchdown dependent running back. I think that's a great way to. I think that's a great guy to sell. Matter of fact, if you have Brian Robinson last week and this week, after this week, I'd look to sell him if you still can, because he is touchdown dependent. No matter how many times he touches the ball, he is very similar to Dameon Pierce at this point. Dameon Pierce is I think a little bit better because he's more explosive to me. But I think they're both touchdown dependent in order to be really viable fantasy options. My start is Antonio Gibson. It's the other guy in the backfield because he's the one who's involved in the passing game. J.D. McKissick is now on IR. So third downs, who's on the field? It's Antonio Gibson. He still gets his running opportunities and carries. They like him around the goal line. I think they found what they want to do with Antonio Gibson. They're using him as kick returner. They're using him out in space, which I think is the role that he fits best, and he's thrived doing it. So, yeah, his ceiling is going to be capped because of the opportunities, and then those first down plotting yards go to Brian Robinson. But if I'm Antonio Gibson owner, I really, really like Antonio Gibson moving forward.
Yeah. Yeah, I like both running backs today in Washington. I think you can start both. If you have both, I think you can start both. I do like the matchup against Houston. I think that's a juicy one. And AJ, I traded Brian Robinson. Trade was to Dylan. I traded Brian Robinson and Latavius Murray to Dylan for Amari Cooper. That's what that turned into. All right, your sit running backs here. Oh wait, another question here. Antonio Gibson and Deontay Foreman. Deontay Foreman against Baltimore. Antonio Gibson against obviously the Houston Texans. He's your start. He's your start of the week, Aaron. AJ, are you also leaning Gibson over Foreman here?
I am. Dante Foreman, he's had himself some good weeks. 3 out of the last 4 weeks has been over 100 yards. But now you're playing a Baltimore run defense who's coming off a bye, who now has Roquan Smith, who's more acclimated in that defense, next to Patrick Queen, next to that front line, next to that secondary. That's a hyped-up defense, in my opinion, at this point in time. And they haven't allowed a 100-yard rusher since week 9 of 2021, which was Dalvin Cook, who came in and balled out. So I do think that Gibson's going to have himself not just a better matchup, but the better day. The one thing you're banking on with Foreman is his volume and the fact that they will give him the ball, but I don't know if he was going to be as efficient as you've seen over the last month.
Okay. Yeah, I'm taking Antonio Gibson in this one.
Yeah,
not really a question for me. I think Baltimore, like you mentioned, hasn't allowed a 100-yard rusher in some time. Give me Gibson.
Yep, I also lean the Gibson route as well. So that means you're fading Deontay Foreman. Who are you guys sitting at the running back position? Aaron, let's start with you. Adrian, been going to you first. So good.
He actually was one. I actually had 2 running backs at the fade, and Deontay Foreman was one of my fades, my sits. The other one is gonna. I don't know that we can necessarily say we're gonna sit him because I think the opportunities are gonna be there, but you need to watch what you're going to get. Like, imagine you're not going to get as much as you think, and that is Dameon Pierce. This Dameon Pierce against the Washington Commanders, I don't love the matchup. We saw what Washington was able to do against the Philadelphia Eagles run game. I think that defensive line is one of the best in football, even without Chase Young. And we know that Dameon Pierce, he does run hard, but he doesn't get much in the passing game. And the fact that he's got to fall in the end zone to have that real huge upside. A lot of people are starting to put him in the top 10 running backs. And I think this is the mistake that we make with guys like him. He looks the part, but we can't put him in the top 10 running backs when he doesn't get the volume in the pass game and he doesn't score touchdowns because he's on a bad team. So you have to just be concerned about the upside there. He's a running back 2. He'll probably finish somewhere in the running back 2 department. But if you're looking for him to produce the running back 1 numbers, I would proceed with caution.
Dameon Pierce or Michael Carter?
Today, probably a wash.
Okay.
In my opinion, probably a wash.
That was asking for a friend. I have Dameon Pierce and I have Michael Carter sitting on my bench right now. And you bringing up Dameon Pierce made me ask that question.
I like that Houston likes him. Like, I like that Houston, I know, is going to go to him.
Yeah, the volume there, the productivity might not be there though. Let's go to the wide receiver position, gentlemen. AJ, who's your starting? Oh wait, have you given us your starting running back? No, you haven't given us.
I gave you a starting. I didn't give you a sit, but
sit. Yeah, give me your sit running back. Sorry, my apologies.
We talked a little bit about this one too. I'm sitting DeAndre Swift today. I think we need to be careful on what we're expecting out of him, and we're getting to that spot where, like, you're talking about playing for some playoff matchups, and over the last couple of weeks, it has not been a DeAndre Swift type of backfield. Williams has 53 touches, while Swift's only gotten 22. Last week, Swift played fewer than 20 snaps for the second straight game, 12 yards, and he fell into the end zone, which made his day look a little bit better. But he hasn't been getting the play. He hasn't been getting the volume. And then he came out and he mentioned himself that he's still battling through some things and really trying to push through, that he said himself he's not fully healthy. And I think that's kind of why they're watching it with him. So he can be efficient. So, I guess you can run that risk of him getting in there and finding a way to fall in the end zone twice from not too far out. But it's just something I don't think you can trust this week, and especially if you're talking about guys who really, really need a win. So if in a couple of leagues, I'm sitting DeAndre Swift and going elsewhere.
Okay. All right. And so we're sitting DeAndre Swift. We are sitting Dameon Pierce. We're starting up Antonio Gibson. We're starting up the Washington running backs here today. Let's talk wide receivers here. Aaron, who is your starting wide receiver this week?
Yes, sir. My starting wide receiver is, we talked about this team. I like Nico Collins. I think Nico Collins is going to get an opportunity today. The Washington Commanders secondary is not great. They have a corner that's led the league in pass interference penalties. I know they played really well against the Philadelphia Eagles on Monday Night Football, but I think the Houston Texans are going to have to throw the ball a lot. I think Nico Collins is the beneficiary of some of those opportunities. We talk about opportunities and volume in fantasy football, and I think that's where I'm kind of leaning here. If you need somebody to fill in for Mike Evans, Chris Godwin, some of those guys that are on bye weeks, you have DK Metcalf and Tyler Lockett both out. I do think Nico Collins is a nice play. I know things have been going kind of sour with Brandon Cooks in Houston. I think Nico Collins is starting to maybe take that next role. He scored 15 points last week. He had 10 targets a week ago, 5 catches. Give me some Nico Collins as we head down the stretch.
So for me, give me my start guy. We've been waiting on it. It just was never going to happen in New York. So Kansas City said, bring him over here. Kadarius Toney is my start. I think he's got himself another great week coming up. Last week, he got 2 rushes. He got 5 targets, caught 4 of them for 57 and a touchdown. He led the Chiefs in yards per route run. He was targeted over 30% of the time. He's lined up all over the offensive sets. No Mecole Hardman, no Juju Smith-Schuster. I think you're going to see a lot of Kadarius and Kelsey today. I think the explosion that Kadarius Toney offers, his ability to make plays with the ball in his hands, I think you're really going to like that against the Chargers team. Give me some Kadarius Toney for my start this week.
So does that mean that he is the one you're picking from this group? This is a tough one here. There's a lot of good names in this one. 12-man PPR. Need 2. Who do I start? Kadarius Toney, Cortland Sutton, DeAndre Hopkins, Gabe Davis, Darnell Mooney. Only 2 needed here from Big Money Joe.
Big Money Joe, I think this is an easy one, to be honest. For me, it's Sutton and D-Hop. You always start DeAndre Hopkins. He is that dude. And it's Cortland Sutton against a bad Raiders defense with no Jerry Jeudy. I like AJ starting Kadarius Toney, but you're still going to get a guy that's not going to play a full complement of snaps. Not going to get us. We know they like to spread the ball around in Kansas City, and I'm gonna be honest. Kadarius Toney's going to play 30 to 40% of the snaps and have to be very volume heavy in that 30 to 40%. And I would worry about that. Gabe Davis, he's just not a start right now, period. He's gonna have those bigger boomer bust weeks, so it's hard to be consistent there. And then Darnell Mooney, I actually like Darnell Mooney today against Atlanta, but their run game is where they lean. Give me the two guys that I've seen do it. I'll take Sutton and D-Hop, and I don't think it's close.
AJ, are you locking down Tony and D-Hop, or where are you
in this one I wouldn't have gone Tony. I mean, with it being full PPR, I mean that is a thing you're only going to see about. You may only see 4 or 5 targets for Kadarius Toney. The other thought I had was Mooney, just because he is the number 1 over there. You're going against an Atlanta with the messed up backfield, but I also know that rushing attack has become real over the last couple of weeks, and now without Khalil Herbert, I think you go even more to David Montgomery. So that would be my only pause. But no, I'm with the Sutton and D-Hop first. My third would have been Mooney if that's where you want to go.
Yeah, I'm also leaning the Sutton. Not that I have to decide. Not that I have to split a decision here. But it is Sutton and D-Hop with no Jerry Jeudy, and also with the fact that I mean, you literally brought up Russell Wilson as your start. So I think that's definitely a good play in Sutton, and obviously D-Hop is that dude every week. So
yeah,
Sutton, D-Hop, start about Big Money Joe, and make sure you hit that subscribe button. We're here live every Sunday at noon. Shout out Big Joe, Big Money Joe. That's a great name. That's a great YouTube name here. All right, back to our starts and our sits here. AJ, who is your starting wide receiver?
Well, my starting wide receiver is still Kadarius Toney.
Oh yeah,
I like that.
Aaron, who is your starting wide receiver?
It's still Nico Collins.
All right, AJ, who is your sitting wide receiver?
All right, you sure you want me? All right, so for my sit of wide receiver, it's going to be Deontay Johnson. I've been on this a couple of times here and there. It's just for a guy who still sometimes gets the volume, is just not getting the production. Averaging about 8.4 fantasy points. He's only got double digits just twice this season. He's struggling from not having quarterback play in Kenny Pickett, and it just hasn't been great. And then, he gets the opportunities and he's being missed on targets, or he's dropping the targets because they're just outside of his reach. And then you're going up against a Cincinnati Bengals defense whose secondary has been pretty good on the season. For a person that you're actually going to have questions with, I'm going to sit Deontay Johnson this week and see if I can find somebody else.
Okay. Aaron?
I'm going to do this again. It's not really a sit for me because you can't sit this player. But I would be heavily considering it if you do have another great option. I think A.J. Brown has another struggling game here. Stephon Gilmore and the Colts. Gilmore is one of the best corners in football right now, again. And I think it's kind of going under the radar because he's been on the Colts. I think they follow him, follow A.J. Brown with him. I like Devontae Smith to have a better day here. So I'm fading A.J. Brown if I have the opportunity to. Again, he's an elite wide receiver. You probably don't have the choice but to start him. But understand that some of those other plays that you fill in your lineup, you might have to look for some boom players because I think A.J. Brown, I would temper expectations today against the Colts.
A.J. Brown or Tyler Boyd?
Ew. I don't know that I could fully, as a fantasy football player that I am, the champion that I am, start Tyler Boyd over A.J. Brown. But would it shock me if Tyler Boyd at the end of the day had more fantasy points than A.J. Brown? No, it would not.
A.J. Brown or Chris Olave?
Ooh, I like Olave.
Yeah.
Great.
Commander.
No, that wasn't the question. The question was Olave or A.J. Brown.
Yeah. What is happening?
Yeah, I'm with it.
He's not paying attention to you, is what he's doing.
Okay, well, Cole Commander.
I saw your face. I just didn't know if you. What do you want? Yeah, Olave over AJ Brown. Sure. I had my own other question about AJ Brown because I was in an interesting thought process, but I feel like it was answered, so I don't have to ask it anymore. And then I got to the camera, and there you were with your eyes.
Well, if you need to talk camera, we have someone in the comments that wants to zoom with someone's camera, so you can look at the camera and all
Heather
that good. Cole Kmet, Pat Fryermuth.
I like both. I think both have really good matchups here. But I think I'm leaning Cole Kmet against Atlanta. I really like this Bears offense today against Atlanta. Not that I'll be mainly because I'm in the building today. I'm gonna be at this game, so I want the Bears and the Falcons to put on a show for me. So I'm gonna roll with the guy that I get to see play live. I'm gonna go watch Cole Kmet handle business.
There you go.
Yeah, he's played very well over the last 3 to 4 weeks. I think you can expect that to continue going. I mean, there's just so much attention. It's like paying attention to Derrick Henry, and then Derrick Henry throws a pass and scores a touchdown. Cole Kmet gets open because everybody's looking in the backfield, and he's just chilling in a lawn chair in the end zone catching touchdowns. I like Cole Kmet as well.
Got to stay in the flames with Cole Kmet here. Keep riding that wave until it stops. Him and Justin Fields are rolling. So start your Cole Kmet over Pat Fryermuth here, but both good matchups, but leaning Cole Kmet here on the show. All right, we've done
tight ends.
Oh, what a perfect transition here.
Well,
AJ,
I'm only saying that because I think you should let me go first because my starting tight end is Cole Kmet.
Oh, there you
That's
go.
who I have, so it makes it easy.
All right,
go ahead, AJ.
There you go.
Perfect. And then I've talked about this guy. I mentioned his name a few times today. My starting tight end is going to be Greg Dulcich. I know last week he wasn't great, one catch for 11 yards, but this is a guy who, as soon as he got in there, became a big part of the offense. Double-digit fantasy points in his first 3 weeks. And again, we're going up against Raiders defense, who've allowed over 14 fantasy points to the tight end position, which is top 10 in the NFL. We talked about Jerry Jeudy being hurt, so that's just a little bit more targets to go around. And Russell Wilson likes to give this guy a chance. And for a tight end, he's also really good with the ball after the catch. I really like the Greg Dulcich play for a tight end today. If you got him, roll him out.
Aaron, D-Hop, DJ Moore, or Kadarius Toney? Pick one.
D-Hop.
Still D-Hop, right?
That's not a question.
There's no matchup. Don't care about the quarterback. Don't care if it was A.J. Brown playing quarterback, throwing it to DeAndre Hopkins. It doesn't matter. DeAndre Hopkins.
That was a very terrible analogy. That was terrible. That was terrible.
What a terrible analogy? It wasn't an analogy. I'm telling you,
it doesn't matter
who is. I'm telling you, it doesn't matter who's throwing the ball to DeAndre Hopkins. You're starting DeAndre Hopkins. I don't care if it's not a quarterback. Like, it could be anybody. You're starting DeAndre Hopkins.
Wow, that comment popped up really fast. It was supposed to go to this one. We're zooming today. Aaron, I don't think you can stop. I don't think you can stop the Zoom comments today.
Well, I blocked the comment that needed to be blocked. The rest you can say whatever you want to say.
Great. Eric asks, which one would you sit? Amon-Ra, Terry McLaurin, Gabe Davis, or Michael Pittman? So this is a sit question here. Is this an easy one? Is this Gabe Davis, and we'll move on?
I was choosing Gabe Davis from this list. He's just too boom or bust. And when he booms, you're very happy, but when he busts,
he's been way more bust than boom this year, and I'm disappointed in Gabe Davis. But Gabe Davis is the one you said.
There it is. That's a simple answer, Eric. We appreciate the comments here. Be sure to hit that subscribe button for more fantasy football content. So we've done our starting tight ends. Now we can move on to our sitting tight ends. See, I'm remembering these things. I'm remembering these things.
Confused.
All right, Aaron, who's your sit tight end of the week?
Yeah, for me, it's Dawson Knox. Dawson Knox is just too inconsistent for me. He's playing against a team that doesn't allow much to the tight end position. I think this is a pretty reasonable expectation. I know he hasn't been good all year, but I think there's some people that obviously correlate Josh Allen and that Bills offense with high fantasy producing players. But you look at that offense, there's no production outside of Josh Allen and Stephon Diggs on a week-to-week basis. It's Every once in a while, it's Devin Singletary. Every once in a while, it's Gabe Davis. But from week to week, it's Stephon Diggs and it's Josh Allen. Outside of those two, there is no consistency there. I'm going to fade Dawson Knox, who has actually been pretty good the last 4 weeks for tight end. But I don't think I'm rolling with Dawson Knox.
AJ?
Yeah, we got ourselves a similar sandwich. We started this way, we're ending this way. My sit was also Dawson Knox. Same reasons, just too inconsistent. Browns are too good against the tight ends. They're going elsewhere.
Aaron, a question. We talked a little bit about the injuries at the beginning of the show here, specifically with Kyler Murray, but D-Hop does have that injury designation. He is questionable for that game on Monday night. In his league, he's got no one to replace him. Are you just still like where are you at with D-Hop? And this is a tough question here. You can't. You were well aware.
It is. It is a tough question. When you say you have nobody to replace him in your league, like nobody, like there's
okay. So
let me. Is a Jawan Jennings out there? Is AJ Green's out there. Somebody is out there.
Ray McLeod.
Somebody is out there. It's about, do you feel confident in the person that's out there? Somebody's got to be out there in your league, unless you're playing in a super, super deep league. And if that's the case, and you're that concerned that if you don't have DeAndre Hopkins in your lineup tomorrow, you might be taking an L, then maybe you do have to look elsewhere. Again, understanding context when we talk about DeAndre Hopkins, obviously we're talking DeAndre Hopkins if he plays. He's been questionable before throughout his career. He's usually a guy that you can rely on. He doesn't usually miss time with nagging injuries. He's been out the last couple of seasons with some injuries, but for the most part of his early part of his career, he didn't miss time. I'm confident he's going to play, but if you do have serious doubts, or your league is something that's just super thin, and you have a better option, or an option that could give you something, then you have to. You can't run the risk of going into Monday night maybe down a certain amount of points and no DeAndre Hopkins, and there's absolutely nobody to replace him with. So that is a case by case basis. I would say we would have to see the rest of your roster and who's on your waiver wire. But if there's somebody out there that can give you some point production on a Monday night. Like I said, I would be either looking at guys like Ray McLeod, Jawan Jennings, AJ Green. Some guys like that, Greg Dortch, if he's out there, if DeAndre Hopkins potentially misses, maybe that's somebody you can pick up and still get some production from.
Okay, so you guys you're on the side of saying, okay, just roll with one of the in Big Money Joe's comment is guys that are relevant. So you'd be willing to roll with one of the lesser guys to take the chance on D-Hop this week because you're a little bit more confident that he does play.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Good stuff.
Because you don't want to start somebody today and not have DeAndre Hopkins tomorrow. Like that's so. It just depends on where you're at in your league. Maybe you can have somebody on reserve up until the 4 p.m. games, or even maybe you have a Charger or a Chief for the night game, and you can hold off and say, okay, maybe you have a DeAndre Carter on your roster, even with those guys back, and you can hold off and you can see where you stack up in your matchup, and then say, okay, I need a big day. If you need a big day, you just roll the dice and you take the chances with DeAndre Hopkins. You know what I mean? So I would got to use some strategy in that situation.
Yeah, you got to kind of play it as the day goes on, go along as if D-Hop is playing, maybe get someone in the Sunday night games to make it, to push it as close to it as possible. I mean, Justin Watson is there as well. That could be a player you can go grab on the waiver wire. He can possibly be good and play him on a Sunday night if you're starting to get more of a sense that D-Hop isn't playing. But I do like that idea of the ride with D-Hop until Monday, and then try and go find maybe a Greg Dortch or someone lesser in that game specifically to roll with. Jacob asks, need one running back, one flex, AJ. Boyd, Kenyon Drake, DeAndre Swift, Cordero Patterson.
So we talked a little bit about DeAndre Swift and how today's not the day. He hasn't been looking great in the past couple of weeks. I think I'm going with Tyler Boyd in that offense with him and T. Higgins being the main targets against the secondary and the Steelers that haven't been great. And then I think I'm going to go with Cordero Patterson in this one. I know last week wasn't great, but tough weather conditions. He was just coming back off an injury. I think they played it a little bit safe. Now going up against a Chicago defense that hasn't looked the same since they got rid of Robert Quinn and Roquan Smith, averaging about 26 points to the fantasy running back position. I think it's going to be a heavy run day in this game, and I think Cordero Patterson plays a part in that. So I think for mine, I would go Boyd and Patterson.
I'm on that side too. I think Boyd and Patterson are good plays. I do like Drake today with no Gus Edwards.
Yeah.
We saw what he was able to do because we know that Baltimore gets in the red zone and he's going to go to Drake. So I think all three of those are safe plays. I do worry a little bit about Patterson and the amount of volume that he saw a week ago. They had 4 different ball carriers at least touch the ball 9 times. That's insane. I worry about that, but I think today is an okay day against the Bears, so I'm okay with Patterson and Boyd there.
All right. The comments are aflow, and we appreciate everyone dropping their comments in here. Make sure you do hit that subscribe button to make sure you're on our content all day long. We've got fantasy, our shows every Sunday live, giving you guys your fantasy advice, and we are live throughout the week at 10 a.m. Eastern time every morning. So be sure to hit that subscribe button. Let's go to Big O Dog FC. Should I start Donovan Peoples-Jones or Michael Carter in the flex? Donovan Peoples-Jones this week has
The Bills.
The Bills. Yeah, that weird game in Detroit against the Bills. And Michael Carter has the New England Patriots. Aaron, who you lean into?
This is tough. This is another close one.
That's a tough one, yeah.
But give me Donovan Peoples-Jones, to be honest. I like Donovan Peoples-Jones. He's been playing really well as of late. I think this is a guy that you can go out and put in your lineup and feel confident. As a matter of fact, his stock is rising. This is going to sound maybe a little crazy. If I'm somebody, I'm thinking about going and trading for Donovan Peoples-Jones. I think you can still get him cheap because it's Donovan Peoples-Jones. But with Deshaun Watson getting ready to come back, I think his stock is trending up. I'm gonna go DV here and go with Donovan.
Yeah, I was on the same idea. I mentioned earlier how I just don't know who's going to get the work in that backfield. I know Michael Carter will be a part of that offense, but Donovan Peoples-Jones, double digits, well over 90% of the play. And there's been a conversation about Amari Cooper in road games. And while this is a quote-unquote neutral site, of the 56,000 tickets that were sold in 48 hours, it was mostly Bills Mafia. So this may still feel like a road game for Amari Cooper. And I know that's reading into theory and conspiracy or whatever, but if it plays a role, keep that in mind. I think Donovan Peoples-Jones has a great game. I like DPJ as well.
Yep. Good stuff from you, gentlemen. Man, I really got to start keeping track of where the hell we are in our start sits.
Streamer.
We're done.
We're done. We're done.
We're done.
We're done with it. All right.
No,
so
yeah, we're done.
Great. That does it for our starts and our sits. Keep those comments rolling, though. We're going to be here for a little bit longer. We've got our DraftKings coming up in a little bit.
I do want to say, Vinny, just for all the trolls, I will delete people out of the comments. Yes, I will block people. We're not here for no bullshit. We're not here to watch you guys try to be funny. I will delete you really quick.
If you're coming in here trying to spam, we will delete. If you come in here giving fake news, including Josh Jacobs being out, which scared the shit out of me, that's also not a thing. So we will make sure that we're keeping this family friendly on here in our chat, making sure that
family friendly.
We're not
a fucking family friendly show.
Yeah,
I'm just not going to put up with
show.
no bullshit. I'm not going to sit here and listen to people talk about stupid shit that has nothing to do with fantasy football. We're here for fantasy football. Let's do it.
David Njoku, Tyler Higbee, 12-man PPR. Boom, 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 boom.
Shit. I love it. I like both. Njoku back. I'm a little concerned. I hate guys coming off of injury, but Tyler Higbee is also waiting for Matt Stafford. But I really like Tyler Higbee in this matchup. I'm sorry. I probably lean Higbee because of the fact that there's no Cooper Kupp and they have no protection on the offensive line, which means Stafford's going to have to get rid of the ball quick. And usually it's running backs and tight ends that are going to be the beneficiary of that. Give me Tyler Higbee just because of that. But Njoku should be a nice play as well.
Man, like I'm with you, right? But like I'm so worried about it. Like it feels like it should be Higbee, but the fact that Cooper Kupp's gone, the fact that they lost more offensive linemen, the fact that Matthew Stafford may not play, it's just like the Saints are like, all right, when we go in, we just need to look at Tyler Higbee. That's the only person I want y'all to cover. It's kind of like what I feel is going to happen. And the Saints are pretty good against the tight end position. I mean, but again, it's tight ends. Only allowing like 7.8 points to the tight end position. But with the Njoku injury, I would go Njoku normally with him being in there because Brissett has just looked his way. And I'm going to just assume that if he's good enough to be on the field, he's good enough to be playing. That's what we talked about. So
Stafford is
give me
playing.
Njoku on this side. I'm going to make y'all flip the coin. Make your own choices. You're grown man.
You're the worst.
Maybe.
Lots of tight end questions here. Lots of tight end questions here.
If the tight end
Tyler Higbee.
If it's going against Tyler Higbee, I'm going Tyler Higbee. This week, my Tyler Higbee's in my top 5. The volume for Tyler Higbee should be outrageous. You got to remember what this offense is with the Rams. They like to throw the ball quick and get it out. Cooper Kupp's gone. Van Jefferson is not that type of receiver. Allen Robinson is not that type of receiver. Expect tight end screens. Expect tight end delays off the line, chipping and then leaking out over the middle of the field. I expect Tyler Higbee to have 10-plus targets in this game. Give me Tyler Higbee against most tight ends not named Travis Kelce or Mark Andrews.
Yep. I'm not. I'll touch on that in a second. I guess I can do that now. Bailey, you always know how to come in here and just throw everything off here. There is no way in hell anyone is starting Trey McBride over George Kittle. This question is the equivalent to your question here. It's just absurd. It is just absurd.
Let's move on.
We're moving on. We're moving on here. Okay, that does it for our starts and sits. Please be sure to continue dropping your questions in the chat. We will get to them as soon as we see them on our page. Be sure to hit that subscribe button for more content from the Sack City Podcast. Let's get into our let's talk sleeper of the week.
And now for your sleeper of the week.
A lot of our new listeners and viewers have no clue why we just had AJ grow an afro and say now for your sleeper of the week. But it happened. Aaron, who is your sleeper of the week?
Yeah, for me this week, we've said his name a number of times today, but we haven't really talked about him, and it's Justin Watson, Kansas City Chiefs. I like AJ mentioned Kadarius Toney having a good day. I don't think it's Toney. I think it's Justin Watson. I don't think people realize what he means to this offense. Andy Reid likes the familiarity with the guy. He knows the play call. He knows the offense. I think he's the guy that's going to be a beneficiary tonight. He scores double digits. So if you're searching for somebody and you're in a deep, deep league and you're like, oh my God, I need somebody to get me double digits today, go get Justin Watson. He might get into the end zone, but I think he can go, 5 for 50, get you double digits and have some production against a Chargers team that's not very good defensively, despite having all the talent that they have. So give me Justin Watson, this week's sleeper of the week.
All right, there you go. There is your sleeper of the week. Now we are going to shift gears and go into our streaming defense of the week.
Oh, shit.
Aaron over here, hold on. Aaron over here in the background also going like this. He ain't even on the screen, and he going like this in the background. All right, hit us with it.
Get your flippy floppies because I've been flipping flopping on defenses all season long. Last week, pretty good. Gave you a full game. Gave you 2 teams to look at. I think they put up 8 and 11 points respectively in that Steelers-Saints game. This week, I have a game, but it's not my defense. I do like the Patriots-Jets defenses. Have fun if you can get those guys. They should already picked up. But the defense that I am choosing as my streamer of the week, I'm riding the hot hand. You play really well against the number 1 team in the league, and you beat an undefeated Philadelphia Eagles. You get a shout out. You get some love. 17 points defensively last week in fantasy of the Washington Commanders. Today they get a Houston Texans team who basically are one-dimensional, and Dameon Pierce having all their offensive yards and points for the most part. You get a Davis Mills who has some lapses in decision making. So you're able to turn him over. You're able to get in the backfield. You're able to force some fumbles possibly on this offense. So I like the Washington Commanders for a second week in a row. I think they're a good setup. 40% in sleeper leagues, 36% in ESPN leagues. No, I didn't check Yahoo. I don't got all day. If you can find the Washington Commanders, if you're looking for a streaming defense, I think they line up nicely. Let's go get it, Washington Football Commanders.
All right, there you go. Washington Football Commanders of the team. Of the not. Yep, there you go. There's your streaming defense. There's your sleeper of the week. It is now time to get to our Draft Kings Showdown.
What are you talking about? Oh, have you not heard? It was my understanding that everyone had heard. Heard what? Brian, don't! Oh, well, a bird, bird, bird. A bird, a word, well, a bird, bird, bird. A bird, a word, well, a bird, bird, bird.
Probably another drop that we have that no one understands. I'm changing it relaxed here. Probably a drop that no one understands. But if you watch the show, if you follow along, we do a lot of great things here. And you will understand that, as I promise you, as the show goes on. It is now time, though, for our Draft Kings Showdown. This is our weekly contest where we draft our teams here. And honestly, maybe if we keep buzzing today like we did, or if we keep buzzing like we did today, maybe we'll have to open our Draft Kings Showdown to everyone else. We draft, and then everyone else comes in as well and joins us. Maybe we'll open that up eventually. But either way, though, Draft Kings Showdown, this is where we draft our DFS teams and battle each other to see who comes out on top. Aaron, I do not know the results of last week. Could you?
Vinny,
I don't think AJ was in it. Dylan didn't. It doesn't exist anymore.
No, AJ was in it. AJ was in it. His lineup was sent to me. Vinny, you came in first. I came in second, and I barely beat AJ by like 0.6 something.
Damn.
But Vinny, you did win it. You won it by a significant margin, about 40 points. So
does that mean I'm first now in the overall?
No, we had
leaderboard?
this conversation on Monday night. You when we were on the show, you asked me, and I told you AJ still had players. I had already calculated your total, remember?
Oh, okay. Well, then there you go. There you have it. All right. So the DFS Showdown, the way this works is we go, it's draft. It's just like a fantasy style draft, snake order, where we're picking our teams. I won last week, so I will be deciding on who goes first. I will go with the same order as I did last time. AJ, you will go first. Aaron, you will go second, and I will go last.
All right. Well, to begin,
There was ever a person that was a creature of habit, it's Vinny.
I am a creature of habit. I am like my father.
To begin,
Stuck in my ways.
You're nothing like me, son. You're nothing like me.
Oh, you're the worst. I hate you so much.
To begin,
You don't even know who you're going to pick yet anyway. You be on to begin. I am going to take the
While we
one
wait 2
player
hours
that's
for
on.
AJ to make his pick, do I trade Fields, D-Hop, and Walker for Murray, Eckler, and Devontae Smith? It's a lot. There's a lot happening there. There's a lot to process.
Wait. Justin Fields, DeAndre Hopkins, and Kenneth Walker for Kyler Murray, Austin Eckler, and Devontae Smith. No. I like the Fields, D-Hop, Walker side.
Yeah.
You're in a good spot.
If you just match up, it's a very lateral move. You're just going position for position. So if you're looking at it in that sense, I like Fields as much, if not more, than Murray.
Yeah.
I like D-Hop as much more than Devonta Smith. And then Kenneth Walker is below Austin Eckler, but it's not by a significant enough margin for me to make that move. Give me D-Hop, Walker, and Fields.
Yep.
That's where I'm at. Now,
Yeah,
pick AJ. You're still don't act like you don't.
Do you have your pick?
I've been waiting to say Saquon
Just say the
Barkley.
name.
Saquon Barkley.
That's my first pick. It could have been done forever ago.
You could have just said it. You act like you can't interrupt anybody on this show.
I literally couldn't. Every time I went to speak, he would speak.
Oh, whatever.
The things are getting out of hand here. Things are getting
That's
out
what they
of
do.
hand. All right, Aaron, you're on the
That's how we
clock.
get down.
I will take Tyler Higbee.
That's a good one. That is a good one. I will take Justin Fields, and I will take Antonio Gibson.
I am taking Brian Robinson.
Ooh. Things are flying right now. AJ's in panic mode.
Yes. Oh my God, I'm so scared. Give me Cordero Patterson, and give me Cole Kmet.
All right. We're rolling. We're flying.
I am taking Stephon Diggs.
I'll go with my let's see here. I will go with my defense here. I know it's an odd one to take defenses early here. But because I am still filling out my lineup, I will go with the Jets defense, and I will go with Isaiah Pacheco.
I am taking Justin Watson.
All right. Give me CeeDee Lamb and Chris Olave.
I am taking Josh Allen.
I will. I'll go with Kadarius Toney, and I will go with Justin Jefferson.
Oh, you're not scared of that turf toe?
For who? Justin Jefferson? Is that a thing?
Yeah. Yeah, it is.
No, I don't give a shit. He's playing against Trayvon Diggs. He's going to fucking torch Trayvon Diggs today. It was a joke. Relax. Pump the brakes. Justin Jefferson's in my lineup, though.
Hey, feed them ducks.
No, I got to change the song. We need a more upbeat song. Our Night at the Roxbury song.
I guess it's my pick, right?
Yeah, it is. And if
I
anyone
am
else
going-
out there is playing DFS today, drop your DFS lineups. Let's talk DFS.
I'm going
today,
with the
too.
Pittsburgh Steelers defense against the Bengals.
All right. You need a cheap QB. Give me Marcus Mariota. Hopefully, them legs will get going. And then I gave y'all Chris Olave and CeeDee Lamb. Give me Nico Collins as my other receiver.
I'm going Devonta Smith against the Colts.
That would mean I am on the clock here. And I don't even have my picks. This sucks. I am HA here. I apologize, gentlemen. I apologize. Give me Dalton Schultz, and give me let's see, give me Darius Slayton.
Nice. Give me Jonathan Taylor.
Okay. Give me the Saints defense. And then lastly, you know what? Let's double down. Give me David Njoku.
Ew, 2 tight ends.
2 tight ends, baby.
Every time you
Cole
do that,
Kmet,
it doesn't
David
work out.
Njoku. It's going to
I
work
will
out this
take-
time.
Update a little bit of updated news. Zeke's playing with a brace, and he's going to see limited touches. That was just reported. So they're going to ease him back in. So even more so the questions that was asked earlier, maybe you shy away from Zeke. He'll need a touchdown to be effective. But my last pick is going to be Donovan Peoples-Jones. They're going to have to throw a lot against Buffalo. Give me D-P-J.
That was my last pick, and I was like, oh, there's no way. Fuck me.
There's no way. Well, you took my running back. You want to swap? You give me Antonio Gibson, I'll give you Donovan Peoples-Jones, and then we'll pick somebody else.
Wait, can we do that? Oh wait, no. Antonio Gibson doesn't really free up that much money for me. But hold on, maybe we can.
I already submitted my lineup.
You son of a bitch! I just got rid of Antonio Gibson. Let's see what my money would look like. Oh man, hold on here. I gotta put Antonio Gibson back in my lineup to make sure I know what the hell I'm doing with money. I will go with the. Screw it. I'll just take the most expensive player that I can get and hope for the best. It's either between Garrett Wilson or Tyler Algier. I hate this so much. Algier has the good matchup. Garrett Wilson.
Oh my God! You go ahead. You can take some time. Let's go to the comments. Paris Campbell or Michael Carter, AJ in the flex.
Give me Paris Campbell. I like that connection with Matt Ryan. I know. Trust me. I want to go there. The New England Patriots defense is good enough to look the face of Michael Carter and put some stops to him. I'm just saying.
So you're discrediting James Bradbury and Darius Slay? Like
Keep
one of the
forgetting
best
they're playing the
secondaries in
Eagles.
football?
Which talk about Detroit last week. The Commanders last week was playing all on Terry McLaurin. Terry McLaurin was
You don't even
balling
know
on
what's
D.
happening
Slay.
right now.
D. Slay wasn't
He doesn't
even
know what's
real
happening.
last
He
week.
does. He doesn't know what's happening right now. DJ Moore, Ayuk, Brandon Ayuk, Devontae Smith, Kenyon Drake, full PPR start 3. I'm going with the last
Back
3.
three.
I'm going with
Yep, back
Ayuk,
3.
Smith, and Kenyon Drake. DJ Moore, I would love to start him, but Baker Mayfield's back under center, and I'm sorry, but Baker is a turd. DJ Moore, I told you, got worse somehow at football when Baker Mayfield was playing.
Baker Mayfield, which is
I
so
think
sad.
that
The Baker effect. That's what we call it, the Baker effect.
The Baker effect here. Baltimore is a tough matchup. Technically it's not a tough matchup, but it is because they have some good corners there. Give me Ayuk, Smith,
3.
and Kenyon Drake.
There you go.
All right, you got your pick now?
I do have my lineups. AJ, go. Sorry. I went with Garrett Wilson. I went with Garrett Wilson.
That's all I needed
where
to
So who's your lineup?
No, it starts from the first pick overall, then it goes to last.
Fine.
That's
AJ,
not true.
Bitch, get out of here. That's what I say. all the
Every
time.
week you do it the person that got to pick the draft order, the very first pick, the person that picked the draft order who won. You do that every week.
To recap things.
Yes.
I don't believe that. We'll have to check.
Yes, you
AJ,
do.
what's your team looking like?
Looking like I should have.
He's so full of shit. He's the most inconsistent person I know.
But I'm a creature of habit.
So I'm just gonna talk because that's what you told me to do. Just talk and it'll be fine. I got Mariota as my quarterback, Saquon Barkley and Kadero Patterson as my running backs,
Homer.
Nico Collins, CeeDee Lamb, Chris Olave as my receivers. I'm double tight ending it with the Cole Kmet and the David Njoku, and I got the Saints defense up against the no-have offense Los Angeles Rams, playing against the replacements. I'm gonna take that defense.
Did Dylan draft your team?
I just threw up in my mouth a little bit.
Did Dylan draft your team? Is that a thing?
I think
January.
AJ, you're in dead last in this thing. Like you're
I
not
missed like a
scratching
week and a half.
You're in dead last. That's all I know, and it's by a significant margin, a week and a half or not. Anyways, I guess I'm next since I picked second. My quarterback is Josh Allen. Running backs are Brian Robinson Jr. and Jonathan Taylor. Receivers are Stephon Diggs, Devontae Smith, and Justin Watson as my flyer. Tight end is Tyler Higbee. Flex is Donovan Peoples-Jones. And my defense is the Steelers defense, hoping to recreate that week 1 4 interception, 3 turnovers, 2 touchdown performance they had against the Cincinnati Bengals.
Got to be honest, I don't really like my team a whole lot. This is one of those weeks that I look at my team and I'm going to read it off and throw up in my mouth as well. My team looks like Justin Fields, Antonio Gibson, Isaiah Pacheco, Justin Jefferson. I got the Justins on my team this week. That's where I'm rolling. Justin and Justin. Darius Slayton, Kadarius Toney, Dalton Schultz, Garrett Wilson, and the New York Jets defense.
Justin Watson and Kadarius Toney?
I don't have Justin
I
Watson.
have Justin Watson.
Oh,
I have Kadarius Toney and Garrett Wilson. Yeah, that's where I'm at. Best of luck to you, gentlemen. Need a streaming tight end for the week. Foster Moreau,
oof.
Tyler Conklin,
Oof.
Dawson Knox.
Foster Moreau.
Foster.
Because the
Oh,
only
a
other
big
player that I
Foster
was
day, huh?
The only other player I was thinking about picking in my DraftKings as a sleeper was Matt Collins. You have no Hunter Renfrow, no real guy on the outside. Obviously, Darren Waller's out. You have Patrick Surtain probably going to be following around Devontae Adams. Look for somebody else to have to step up. I like Foster Moreau in this one, just slightly over a Dawson Knox.
All right. You guys want to wrap it up?
Yeah, I got to get ready to go to this game and wake my son up.
There you go. All right. That does it for another episode of Pigskin and Pancakes presented by the Sac City Podcast. We'll be back again live tomorrow at 10 a.m. Eastern Time, recapping all the games from Sunday's slate. We'll be here giving you your fantasy advice on Tuesday, looking ahead to week 12, giving you our rankings on Tuesday live at 10, as well as recapping what took place in week 11. Be sure to hit that subscribe button. AJ, pay the bills here real quick for all of our new viewers.
Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, we appreciate y'all rocking with us at Sac City Pod on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, and TikTok. We got a lot of help today, so make sure to hit that subscribe button so you know exactly where to come back next week for all your fantasy start sit questions and where to come 5 days a week just to understand more about your beloved NFL football. So please, ladies, gentlemen, hit the like and share button on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, and TikTok.
Sorry, has nothing to do with you. Aaron, did you just blow on your computer while your mic was hot?
No.
It definitely looked like you just blew on your laptop, like to blow something off, because it sounded like it was like something just blew, like a fan blew, and it looked like you were leaning over your computer.
I did not blow anything off my computer.
You were unbelievable. I don't believe you. I think you're lying. Check the tape. We have tape now. We have tape now.
You think I'm lying?
We have tape now.
You know me and you think I'm lying?
I do know you. That's exactly why I think you're lying. You're a liar.
Please.
All right.
I'm not lie.
AJ, I'm sorry I ruined your little.
I was like, what I do?
Nobody was worried about it except for you. Like, you're the only person that even was going to mention anything.
I gotta keep you honest. And it turns out I can't keep you honest. You still lied to me anyways.
You don't even know what you're talking about.
That's true. All right, that is it for another episode of Pigskin and Pancakes. Again, we'll be live again tomorrow at 10 a.m. Eastern Time, recapping all the Sunday action for my best friend Aaron Mukes and for your boy AJ Johnson. I am me. We'll see you tomorrow.
Peace out.
Holla.